faculty member at FRI Dehradun, students from Kannur University, architecture and design students from Delhi, NCR, Punjab, Bangalore, and across India. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Rambir Singh Yadav, Assistant Director Business Development, FI India, popularly known as Canadian Wood. Thank you for taking time out to attend this webinar on wood as a sustainable material. And on behalf of Canadian Wood, I welcome each one of you at this webinar. Being the non-profit Crown Corporation of Government of British Columbia, supported by NRCan, Natural Resources of Canada, Canadian Wood is engaged in the promotion of the wood and value-added products such as glulam, CLT, etc. from Canada. And I'm very delighted to bring two experienced personalities from the world of wood industry to this webinar. We all are looking forward to have very interesting 60 minutes of informative presentation, followed by Q&A of 10 minutes. Due to some contingencies, Mr. Panesh Chibbar, Country Director of Canadian Wood, would not be able to join at this time. So we have Mr. Ritesh Kumar, Assistant Director, Business Development, to deliver on the same talk. Mr. Ritesh Kumar, he is Assistant Director, Business Development, FI India, and he has accomplished with 16 years of active experience in wood industry. He is part of our FII family since last 7 years and working at capacities as Assistant Director, Business Development. His professional journey is decorated with a big renowned brands from Indian wood industry, mainly from plywood. He has a vast experience at leadership roles in production, quality, products development, vendor management, and business development. His academic accomplishments are hereunder. He has done PG Diploma in Wood Technology from IPT Bangalore. IPT is a Government of India organization, Indian Plywood Industries Research and Training Institute, Bangalore. PG Diploma in Management at KJ Somaiya Institute of Management Studies and Research, Mumbai, and alumni of IIM Calcutta with certificate in executive programs. Over to you, Ritesh.
Thank you, Rambir, for brief introduction. Let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible to you all.
Yeah, Ritesh.
Yeah, thank you, Rambir, once again for a brief introduction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the webinar. To comprehend the pressing need of today's world, I quote Wendell Berry, the celebrated novelist, poet, and the environmentalist. He said, "The earth is what we all have in common." Sustainability is not a buzzword, fashion, or futuristic thing anymore. It is the urgency and responsibility of everyone inhabiting the Mother Earth. Forests and renewable sources are one of the key areas of focus when it comes to the restoration of ecosystem, climate, and safeguard from the natural calamities. Before I get into the sustainability in Canada, let me take this opportunity to introduce FII, Forestry Innovation Investment. It's a crown agency from Government of British Columbia, Canada, popularly known as Canadian Wood in India. We are a non-profit, non-commercial organization mandated to promote the wood species from BC, Canada in overseas markets. We have been operational in India since 2014 and been closely engaged with woodworking fraternity across the country through our offices in Mumbai, Delhi NCR, and Bangalore. With our continuous effort and support from stakeholders, our family of stockists has grown to 41 in over 22 cities across the India. They were very instrumental for us to be part of numerous reman and structural projects across the country. Some of them are really wonderful. I will share some of the pics of those projects in the latter part of my presentation. So the question comes, what we do in India? We create awareness in the market about Canadian wood, its species, properties, and application through different platforms, collaterals, and trade shows. It helped us in have a better recall value in the minds of the customers. We also host frequent webinars, and this is one of the examples, seminars and training workshops to educate our target audience on our wood species. In addition to that, We handhold, share best practices, and provide technical support to the woodworking fraternity through demos and product trials using Canadian wood species. Being the non-commercial organization, we share a lot of market leads to our partners, whether it's a manufacturing partner, trader partner, or whoever he is. And we also provide a platform for their branding and the marketing wherever it is possible. Let's come to the sustainability and our India's commitment. I would like to draw your attention to the 26th UN Climate Change Conference of Parties, COP26, where India made a net zero commitment by 2070. While participating nations reinforced and elevated the world's commitment to a 1.5-degree target. I would also like to highlight that Canada's forest sector has long been committed to climate actions. It is one of the few who supported the Kyoto Protocol in the late 90s and was among the first to announce the action plan to meet those commitments. The Paris Agreement enabling Canada to play a leading role in the helping advance climate actions to secure a net zero carbon economy by 2050. These developments demand greater cooperation and commitment from the industry to work alongside the governments towards a cleaner and greener world. We hope the COP26 declaration will support the expansion of forest certification, sustainable practices, and responsible consumption worldwide. Contrary to popular belief, harvesting forest is essential to keep forests healthy. The old and aging forests are less efficient in carbon absorption and release of oxygen. They also release stored carbon slowly while decaying and rapidly through wildfire. Thus, reforestation and sustainable forestry ensures endless continuation of carbon cycle through healthy forests that store carbon. Indian forests. Now let's come to the India. So Indian forests are protected, and that is rightly so. It is helping India to grow its forest cover as part of its commitment towards mitigation of the global warming. As per FAO is Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN, India ranks third among the top 10 countries that have gained forest areas in the last decade. It has been increased to 24.56% as in 2019. Having said that, India is the second most populous country, probably the first one in the world, and also it is the fastest growing among the major economies. Means there is a huge demand of resources, including timber. The gap makes India a fiber deficit nation, leading towards more import of wood to meet the domestic requirements. Needless to mention that to meet its commitment of net zero by 2070 at COP26, India will do well to ensure the import of certified timber from sustainably managed forests. Critics often point out the carbon footprints created by the processing and shipping of wood around the world. However, we all know that carbon stays logged in the timber. As evident in this slide, CO2 taken out of the atmosphere by harvested trees is far more compared to the carbon footprints created in processing and transportation of the lumber. Again, I would like to mention that forests help to curb the climate change that we all know and global warming by absorbing nearly a quarter of carbon emission. Keeping forests healthy is a critical part of removing harmful emission and cooling our planet. Jimmy would probably emphasize on wood in construction and its climatic importance. But just to give you an idea, construction sector contributes around 37 to 40% of the carbon emission, followed by other industries. Similarly, building with wood and the use of wooden products over carbon-intensive materials like steel, concrete will help in reducing the environmental impact. It will also maximize their reuse and recycling, and it would be a smart climate solution. I would like to take pause here and play a video on forestry in Canada and will commence my presentation after this.
There are few places on Earth that can match the diversity and richness of Canada's forests. Forests are an important part of Canada's natural ecosystem and central to its economy. making up just under half of its landscape with 8 major forest regions and a vast diversity of wood species. From planting a seedling to manufacturing lumber, the forest sector in British Columbia and Canada is an interconnected industry of forest management and wood processing. This includes planting, tree harvesting with modern, high-tech machinery, and sophisticated wood product manufacturing. The entire cycle is planned around responsible resource management. In British Columbia, forestry and wood product manufacturing are a fabric of our culture, our communities, and our people. Our forests provide a sustainable supply of wood for lumber and mass timber products, while protecting our environmental and social values of wildlife, water, community, economic interests, and First Nations peoples. British Columbia is a global leader in sustainable forest management. Forestry practices in British Columbia ensure that environmental, social, and economic needs are met for current and future generations. This matters to our customers and sets us apart from other supply regions globally. Wood products from British Columbia come from legal, sustainably managed forests. By law, less than 1% of the forests are harvested annually, with 3 trees planted for every single tree harvested. This commitment to forest regeneration results in 200 million new seedlings planted every year, ensuring replenished forests for the future. Canadian wood suppliers provide certified products under the Forest Stewardship Council, FSC, and the Program for the Endorsement of Forest Certification, PEFC. These strict international certification standards add additional assurance of the global protection of forest resources and make Canada a reliable and sustainable provider of wood products. State-of-the-art technology and machinery, incorporated in our forestry practices and through our highly productive, efficient sawmills, support the production of Canada's quality lumber. After harvesting, logs are transported to sawmills for manufacturing. At the sawmill, the logs are cut to target lengths and loaded into a debarking machine to remove the bark. Next, logs are processed through primary breakdown equipment like head rigs and chip-n saws and are turned into lumber. The lumber is then sawed to specific widths and trimmed to specific lengths as it passes through secondary equipment like edgers and trimmers. A scanner will show if the lumber requires any further trimming. Next, the lumber is sorted by thickness, width, length, and sometimes by grade attribute. It is stacked, which may include stacking on sticks for kiln drying. When the lumber is dry, it is ready for final processing. Some lumber goes through a planer mill to be made smooth. Whether planed or rough, the lumber is then graded and trimmed. It is sorted by size and by grade, then finally packaged for shipment. This results in the most efficient yield of the best quality lumber. Once the lumber is packaged and prepared for shipment, it is loaded onto a network of trucks and rail cars for delivery to shipping ports for distribution around the world. Independent studies confirm that the CO2 stored in wood products far outweighs any extra CO2 generated by the efficient manufacturing and shipping of Canadian lumber around the world. Lumber produced from British Columbia and Canada is durable, strong, and versatile. Superior working properties offer design flexibility and durability. Canadian lumber products can be bent, shaped, or assembled as required, making it ideal for countless indoor, outdoor, and structural applications, such as windows, doors, gazebos, and furniture like tables and chairs. Canadian wood species are also easy to face laminate. Edge glue and/or finger joint and standard sizes and grades ensure that the same high-quality product reaches the client each time. Canadian wood products bring warmth and natural beauty to an interior and exterior application or furniture product. It can be sanded to create a smooth surface, has a superior coating adherence, and can easily take any stain or finish. Across Canada and North America, wood products are influencing design and construction, not only for interior and exterior applications, but also the construction of buildings. Mass timber products are changing the way buildings are constructed, allowing for immense spans and taller buildings made of wood. Canadian wood products are being used in a wide range of buildings and products, showcasing the versatility, strength, and durability of lumber from Canadian forests. That is why using Canadian wood is a natural choice. There are
Welcome back. We will now continue with presentation and talk about Canada and forestry. Canada is the home to 9% of the world's forest and having 36% share of the world's independent third-party audited and certified forest. It makes the Canada a global leader in sustainable forestry and reliable source for ethical and certified forest products. It also positions Canada as a long-term resource for certified wood to the fiber deficit countries like India, which will help and advance the world's collective fight against the climate change. Now, let's talk about the British Columbia. So British Columbia is North America's largest producer of softwood lumber and Canada's second producer of pulp and paper products. Alongside traditional goods like cabinets, furniture, and prefabricated houses, BC's value-added manufacturers make variety of mass timber and next-generation lumber products. BC is also the home of leading architects, engineers, and consultants who can support and drive the innovative use of wood in building and infrastructure. As a result, their services are also high in demand across the world. Just 23% of the BC's forests are available for harvesting, which only 0.2% is allowed to be harvested annually. It means the forest from British Columbia is available for harvesting for next hundreds of years. BC's approach to sustainable forestry focuses on forest forever. It has the 14th largest forest area when compared to the country's jurisdiction around the world. Through stringent regulations, continuous reforestation, and scientific practices, its forest industry works hard to ensure the healthy forest forever. BC's diverse forest and reforested promptly using a mixture of planted native species in combination with natural regeneration. We manage the indigenous flora and fauna to protect the province's vital ecosystems and biodiversity. This approach has generated international recognition for BC as a global leader in sustainable forest management. While expanding wood use, BC presents opportunities to collaborate with the government and industry to develop innovative use of wood to achieve the climate mitigation goals worldwide. Further, through Clean BC initiative, the BC government is working to reduce the climatic impact of the province's built environment and establish objectives for future building performance. Wood, being a natural building material, reduces the carbon footprints as compared to the other alternatives available in the market. Here is a snapshot of SFM certification in Canada. In 2002, the Forest Products Association of Canada, FPAC, became the only national forest trade association in the world. It was the first trade association that required its members to certify their operations to any of three major credible standards used in Canada. It means the certifications. The bodies are Canada Standard Association, CSA, Forest Stewardship Council, FSC, and Sustainable Forestry Initiative, SFI. Since its emergence, means FPSC, in 1990s, the forest management certification has been adopted quickly across India, across Canada, and now more than 75% of the country's managed forest land is certified. As of the end of 2020, Canada had 164 million hectares of independently certified forest land, which represents 36% of the all certified forests across the world, the largest area of third-party certified forest in any country. This occupied the strong forest management governance, supports Canada's reputation as a source of legally and sustainably produced forest products. A world leader by a huge margin, Canada's certified forest cover an area of the size of Germany, Spain, and Sweden combined. You will also notice in the chart on the screen that its province of British Columbia by itself is at number 3 rank. Number 3 without double counting, much higher than all other nations in the world except Canada and Russia. Talking about sustainability in BC, BC has roughly the same amount of forested area as it did before European settlement. Thus, abundance of wood is available for export for long time to come. It's time to introduce Canadian wood species to you all. Here are the species available from British Columbia. Usually countries from temperate and colder climate mostly have pine and spruce, whereas BC Canada offers 5 distinct species from its certified and sustainable managed forest. Each of these are known for their unique properties and comparable with many of hardwoods in properties and applications. They are mature, easy to work, and versatile in application. There are 2 cedars, yellow cedar and red cedar. They are naturally durable. Considering the application, SPF and interior Douglas fir are for mainly structural use, whereas hemlock, SPF and Douglas fir can be used for interior application as well. Both cedars, yellow cedar and red cedar, are good for all exterior applications. Let's talk about these species individually. Western hemlock contributes 60% of the coastal forest in British Columbia and is available in abundance. Its beautiful grains, age, machining, staining and gluing and drying properties make it a perfect choice for versatile indoor applications from furniture to paneling, ladder and saunas. Douglas fir is again the second most abundant species from the British Columbia, and it is an excellent choice for structural and indoor applications. Because of its properties, strength by weight ratio, it's a perfect choice for a structural application along with the furniture and doors. Douglas fir is a preferred choice for construction such as trusses, walls, and mass timber products like CLT, GLT, DLT, etc. SPF is one of the most abundant species in the interior part of the British Columbia, and it is structurally graded and widely used for wood houses across the world. It can be used for other applications like upholstered furniture, flush door, and packaging material. Canadian SPF is mature and is of minimum 80 years of age, and it comes with a stress rating and grading and grades as per the NLGA. The entire system makes an easy understanding for the selection of right species of the right grade for the given application. Western red cedar. It is of the 15% of the BC coastal forest and one of the costliest and the lightest softwood in the world. It is very resilient to the natural elements and infestation by fungus and insects. The dimensional stability make it a perfect choice for exterior uses like cladding, pergola, gazebo, garden furniture, saunas, etc. Last but the most popular species in India from the Canada, yellow cedar. It is also very resilient and excellent and having the excellent durability. It can be used for exterior applications, door jambs, windows, and any kind of interior application as well. The common sizes available from Canada is thickness from 2 to 8 inches, all in even numbers, width from 4 to 12 inches, all in even numbers, length 8 to 20 feet, all in even numbers. But interior species are available from 38 mm and 5 mm is the common thickness, whereas length is 8 to 20 feet and multiple thicknesses are available. But what is the advantage finally you are getting once you get timber from British Columbia? The timber from British Columbia comes with a lot of advantages like they are dully graded, consistently sized and seasoned and in ready to use conditions. It removes the headache of the sorting of wood on arrival at the manufacturer's yard. The lumber is from mature trees, often as old as 200 years plus, and is thus highly stable, which is appreciated by the woodworking fraternity across the world. It's time to showcase some of our footprints in India, which really justifies our tagline, born in Canada, made in India. You can see the furniture applications. Some furniture, again furniture applications. Here are some of the examples of reman projects done by Canadian wood species, designed by an Indian architect, interior designers, and executed by local manufacturers and contractors in India. Some fine examples of doors, windows, and door jambs with the Canadian wood species. Some more examples. Some more. And now some great examples of interior projects done in India using Canadian wood species, designed by Indian architects and executed by Indian manufacturers and contractors. Examples of Canadian wood species used in commercial projects, commercial places. Some more. Some interior applications with the hemlock and Douglas fir. Some fine examples of outdoor applications and product made with yellow cedar. Outdoor furnitures, pergolas, gazebos. Finally, here are some of the best examples which we have in India for the structural projects done in the Canadian wood. You can see a WFC house in Hyderabad, the smaller version of that in Mysore, Chennai, Bangalore, again Mysore, tongue and groove houses in Goa, New Delhi, and hybrid houses in Himachal Pradesh, in the foot of Himalayas. Again, mass timber applications, the glue lamp at SEPT University had Ahmedabad, one project in Goa. So finally, I would like to conclude my presentation with one of the sentence that sustainability is the only responsible choice we have. Thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to answer any question after this presentation. I also encourage you to connect with us post this seminar, and we will be happy to answer your queries regarding Canadian wood. Thank you, and over to you, Rambir, to take this proceeding forward. Thank you very much.
Insight about how Canadian wood is engaged in the different activities in India and what are the end application. Now I welcome Mr. Jimmy Thomas. So from Canadian Wood, Jimmy is perhaps the first Indian to get the title of wood technologist in 1999. Jimmy is Assistant Director Technical Services at Canadian Wood, the not-for-profit Crown Corporation of Government of British Columbia, Canada since 2016. Earlier, he served as a wood technologist and laboratory manager at Central Wood Testing Laboratory, the Rubber Board, under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, for about 16 years. He has a master's in wood science and technology from FRI Dehradun in the first batch in 1998 and PhD in the wood science from University of Canterbury in New Zealand. Wow. He has authored more than 10 peer-reviewed journal papers and a book chapter apart from the presenting many conference papers. He is the Vice President of Indian Academy of Wood Science and a member of Research Advisory Group of Institute of Wood Science and Technology, Bangalore, and the Board of Studies at FRI Deemed University, Dehradun. He is a technical member of several organizations as Furniture and Fitting Skill Council, International Association of Wood Anatomists, Society of Wood Science and Technology, USA, and Woodworkers Guild of America. Let me welcome Jimmy Thomas to deliver his talk on the wood as a sustainable material. Over to you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Rambir, for a very detailed introduction. Just let me share my screen. Is it visible correctly, Rambir? Thank you. So, very good morning and warm welcome to my talk on wood as the sustainable material. I wish to appreciate all the participating students and faculty for joining us excuse me, today to understand the features of wood, which is the only sustainable, natural, and versatile raw material, and is for a variety of applications. In this talk, I will provide you a basic understanding about wood. We'll touch upon its versatile and unique characteristics and applications, along with a brief comparison with other materials. Well, better understanding about wood will give you the confidence to choose wood in your projects in future, and also selecting your career maybe. Our life is very well connected with wood. or wood-based products, starting from the cradle or bed one is sleeping, and table or chair now you are using to study, and many more. However, timber or wood is considered as a complex material which is hygroscopic, anisotropic, and fibrous in nature. It is not to frighten you. I will make it very simple for you. Being produced by the mother nature, wood has non-uniform properties along and across the grain. That is simply known as anisotropic. That means no two plants have 100% same properties like a manufactured product such as steel or plastic or other materials. Depends on the method of cutting. The grains on the wood surface can be flat or vertical, as shown in the image on the right-hand side. This flat zone material is also known as tangential surface, or the vertical zone material is also called as radial surface. Tangential surface shrinks and swells more compared to the radial surface. Wood responds to the changes in temperature and humidity around. That is why it is called hygroscopic. So I think you understand now about the anisotropy properties. And I'm sure being students, you know what are known as hardwoods and softwoods. However, just a reminder that not all hardwoods are hard and vice versa. They are known as hardwoods not because of their weight or hardness, but only because of the presence of a particular tubular structure called vessels or pores in them. Look at them inside the circle, that yellow circle on the image on the right-hand bottom corner. Majority of the trees growing around us in tropical countries like India are classified as hardwoods. They are usually darker in color and heavier, but not always. On the other hand, wood of conifer trees are known as softwood. They have very long and strong fibers, also known as tracheids, in its place of vessels. So softwoods are also equally stronger and usable, and are being used for many applications. Next comes hardwood and sapwood. You know, the hardwood is normally dark in color, which is the central core of the trunk, generally made of non-living cells, dead cells, or it has got a lot of extractives and deposits, depends on the nature of the tree or the type of the tree. And that is because so that the hardwood is more durable, and that is the only usable part of the wood or the tree. On the other side, on the sapwood, which is actually the outer portion of the trunk, which is also the growing part of the tree, where a lot of living cells and physiological activities are happening. And because of the presence of more food material, carbohydrates and all, this is susceptible to the insect and decay. So when you select timber, when you select different timber species, look for hardwood and also from durable species for your applications. So now comes the important role of water in wood utilization or moisture content. Freshly cut timber normally contains about 60 to 80% moisture content, even more also sometimes, up to 140% moisture is recorded. Right moisture content is actually very much required to produce the proper joints, and also that will help in finishing. The process of bringing the moisture content down is called seasoning or kiln drying, and that is the controlled drying. That process helps to minimize the defects formation during the timber drying. So actually seasoning reduces the moisture content to an average equilibrium stage with the atmospheric conditions, and there the wood becomes more stable. Now you have seen almost all the important properties, or the basic understanding about wood is with you now. And let's look into the versatility of wood properties. Let's start with color. We have celebrated Holi recently. How beautiful different colors are there. You see, if you look around different timber species, there are so many different species with varied color. The vividness is so rich, and making such a beautiful inlay work, what is seen on the screen, is not that difficult if you properly select the right timber with the right color and properties. So this particular picture inlay work was completely made by different species. More than 10 different species have been used here. So when we consider timber utilization or properties, density comes first. Density of wood ranges mainly between 200 to 800 kilogram per cubic meter. Density is also referred as specific gravity or weight. Majority of the commercial timbers come in between maybe around 400, 600, that range. However, there are exceptions such as balsa on the low density end and black ironwood or lignum vitae on the opposite end. However, studies show that density of wood is just one of the factors contributing to the performance of wood in long run. And wood is much lighter than other manufactured raw materials as seen in the table. For example, it is maybe 1/5 or 1/6 of the weight of concrete, just as an example. So you can imagine when we make some products, wooden products will be very lighter in weight as well as easy to carry and also easy to handle. But that lightweight is not doesn't mean that it is not strong enough. It is much stronger, and it has got a very good strength to weight ratio compared to other products, many other products. It has also possesses the high tensile and compressive strength or shear resistance, so many other mechanical properties. So wood is considered as one of the best non-construction materials as well. When I say construction material, it can be used for making not just the interior furniture, paneling, or partition, all those applications. Other than that, we can build bridges, palaces, or buildings, or even cottages, houses, and many similar structural applications. So for that, we just need to select the right timber, durable timber for that. So if it is properly selected, we can use timber for all different both interior and exterior applications, and we can see around decades old serving wooden bridges, palaces, and buildings. What you see on the bottom right hand side is one of the oldest bridges, serving bridges. Currently it is being used in Canada, more than 100-year-old bridge. So it is the proper selection of timber, design, and building or construction. These all are the contributing factors to the proper service of these products. So come to versatile applications. Thank you, Ritesh, for covering the versatile applications of Canadian wood elaborately. We know that wood is being used for largely for interiors. It is excellent for both interior and exterior applications, rather. In interiors, it can be painted, stained, or just left with a clear finish to show the beauty of the natural beauty of the surface. In outdoor, which is always challenging for a natural material like timber to withstand. These all are the different examples of Canadian wood in outdoor applications, such as pergola, gazebo, etc. Apart from constructing houses and multi-story buildings. And again, some of the specialty applications, products made with Canadian wood. Notable are the thin profile panels on the top left-hand corner, which is maybe less than 5 millimeter in thickness, and the finger-jointed board, the dining table set made of the finger-jointed board using hemlock wood on the bottom. And wood can be tanned and carved or bent into different shapes and dimensions. So it's a very versatile product for many applications. And also wood becomes the raw material when you consider the panel products such as plywood, laminated veneer lumber, or oriented strand board, or fiber board, on so many. So even the mass timber also, the new age timber. So timber, solid wood is the raw material for all these applications. let me talk to you in detail what makes wood sustainable. Ritesh has covered the best sustainable practices in Canada, but many asked us how wood is sustainable when you cut trees to make the timber. Thank you, Ritesh, for elaborately showing that video and other details. Only wood from person responsibly managed and certified forests are sustainable. Not all. We should avoid use of illegally harvested or non-certified timber. Those are not sustainable things. Currently, what I am talking here in detail is only about the sustainable and certified product. So, wood or tree, when it is growing, it will absorb the carbon dioxide, and the photosynthesis process is happening, and the sugars and carbohydrates, different formats are formed there. Whatever used for growth remaining is stored there. So in other words, trees absorb a lot of carbon dioxide, generally 1 ton per cubic meter, and lock it inside the tree to grow and use. So when you convert this tree to timber or wood and consume that much quantity of timber, we are actually saving tons of carbon dioxide. And also, when you avoid using concrete or other manufactured product, then we are avoiding that carbon dioxide liberation or production as well. So the carbon footprint in this case is actually very helpful to the human, our future. So that's why we suggest or support use of timber for interior applications wherever possible. As you notice on the screen, energy required to produce the common building materials is much higher compared to the energy consumed to harvest or process and transport the wood, despite all the tools and machinery used. Thus, where building with concrete or steel is not essential, wood is recommended as the ideal material for a sustainable future. So this is not just for the construction of buildings alone. I cite construction of building as an example, though that example is there. For all our applications, like starting from furniture, we have been using a lot of non-wood products in the furniture sector, or for paneling, or for flooring. In all the cases, we can bring back our timber to the scene. Let us look at the environmental impact in manufacturing of other building materials. They consume high amount of energy, add to pollution, and negatively impact natural resources such as water, sand, rocks, which are hard to replenish. On the other hand, harvested wood can be replenished much quicker, though through the sustainable forest management practices. That is a matter of maybe a couple of decades. And concrete has its own advantages, we know that, and it is an absolute necessity in many areas of construction, such as, for example, dams, bridges, skyscrapers. However, studies show that manufacturing and building with it, and also maintenance of those buildings, actually those activities contribute to approximately 37% of the total carbon dioxide emissions, and also about 10% of the total greenhouse gas emissions. So, as Ritesh explained earlier on, to achieve the targets, the country's target as well as the targets set by the international community, we need to achieve all those targets. Otherwise, there is no humans remaining after that time. So, amongst its many benefits, wood is a natural insulator. You must have learned this in the class. That saves big on operational energy, both in retaining heat inside and keeping cold outside, and vice versa. Physical and mental wellness is part of the biophilic benefits of wood, including the focus in creativity and performance, etc. So health benefits or biophilic benefits, actually we need to consider while selecting the right material for the applications. So now let me talk to you about how wood becomes a unique material. What are the properties with wood, which makes it a unique material. Wood, by virtue of being 50% carbon by dry weight, is a material with a high embodied carbon, which I explained you in the previous slides. Thus, it is considered as a self-fire extinguisher. As you can see on the screen, the charred surface protects the wood inside the unburned wood, and also retaining a minimum of 80% of the original strength of this structure. That provides the occupants with the vital extra time for evacuation. I am talking on the basis of a building or wood as a building material or a construction material. Further, wood does not transmit heat like steel, which expands under high temperatures that leads to collapse of the concrete building. We know while a fire incident, the steel inside the concrete can expand, and that will create actually the cracking and failing of that particular beam. As a result, the entire structure will collapse. However, on the other hand, wood can retain a minimum of 80% of the original strength, and also it's a self-extinguisher. Actually, these all make the material as a unique material. Years of research and building code development have proven that wooden buildings can meet or exceed most demanding earthquake design requirements. This is because forces in earthquake are proportional to the structure's weight. We know that wood has got very light in weight, very lightweight, and also it is highly flexible compared to its elasticity is high. So, to create earthquake resistance in buildings, proper design is required, plus use of right timber is required. The house on the screen you are seeing now is actually withstood 7.4 magnitude earthquake, in which I was also involved. Means I just escaped from that earthquake in 2010. That became possible only because of the fibrous nature of the material. Wooden buildings, again, I'm citing wooden building as an example of use of wood to show the wind resistance. Buildings have inherent ductility, which allows them to dissipate energy in the case of heavy wind. The fact that wooden buildings have numerous nail connections means that they have more load paths, so there is less chance of a structural collapse. Moreover, inherent properties of wood enhance buildings' acoustics properties and make it a good choice for residents, concert halls, auditoriums, and many other buildings for a rewarding acoustic experience. It is also considered ideal material for musical instruments. We know that. Wood amplifies or absorbs sound waves, but does not allow them to pass through. Hence, when designed well, it is also considered as an excellent material for audio privacy and also soundproofing of rooms. It is contrary to our normal beliefs that wooden buildings or wooden floors create noise. Actually, if you properly design and build, we can create a 100% soundproof room. We have explained and demonstrated this particular feature in the house demonstrated in Hyderabad, which was shown in Ritesh's presentation, earlier presentations. So I was talking more about the positive side of wood. However, there are certain limitations as well. Wood is biodegradable, we know that. But selecting the right timber, and also if not right timber is available, then use the treated timber. That is a solution to overcome the biodegradation issue. Then comes the environmental changes or due to the moisture content or temperature. So for that, we need to use stable timber, which of course Canadian timber is very mature and stable, more than 100 years old, and also coming after proper seasoning. So use of Canadian timber can solve majority of these issues associated with illegal timber, which is now approximately 30% of the wood available in the market is coming from illegal sources. So for that, we need to create the awareness among the users and policymakers, and also we need to create right policy and implement those policies to stop use of illegal timber. We should promote certified timber. lack of expertise and infrastructure, we need to create awareness of about the importance of them, as well as we need to continue our training activities. See, Canadian Wood, our team, we are fully equipped equipped to do that, and we are always accessible for training activities. So the key takeaways for the day is they are wood is the most traded natural resource, and also as mentioned, this is up to 30% is illegal. Species diversity is depleting. We know that, earlier around 1,000, more than 100 species were available in the market. Now less than 10 or maybe 20 maximum. So that is a kind of species diversity. And in the long run, maybe next 10 years, only teak. That maybe from plantation timber. That could be the only hardwood available, and remaining will be all softwoods. That is evident from the import statistics we are getting now. Try to use only legally harvested and certified timber, and also that will obviously will help to achieve our COP26 commitments. Canadian wood is, of course, a good choice for that, and that is a material for future. So the pertinent question now before you is, would you like it or not? So thank you. Thanks to all of you for listening me. Any questions, please ask. Over to you, Jambir.
Really insightful and informative, quite informative about uses, fire capabilities of wood. So there are certain questions on the panel, so I'll take one by one all of them. So the first questions I would like to toss to Jimmy. Do hardwoods and softwood have separate seasoning methods?
Yeah, good question. Actually, not just hardwoods and softwoods alone. Each species of timber has got separate seasoning procedure. That procedure is called as schedule, or it's a set of moisture content, temperature, relative humidity setup. So every timber has got its own specific schedule or procedure. Indian standard is there from memory 1141, I guess. There is a standard for code of practice of seasoning, and that clearly mentioned the practices or the procedure to be followed. And around 300 Indian species have been already classified into 7 different groups. Similar is the case with our softwood also. So any particular specific requirement, we can provide you that information.
Okay, great. Thank you. The next question comes from, I think, somebody, Ms. Anand. So she asked about, Ritesh, to you, how much reliable the BC wood in Indian context, considering the climatic condition? So would you like to answer that question?
Yeah, sure. I can give it a try.
Sure.
So, timbers from BC is being exported across the world since last 100 years, in fact, more than 100 years. So Canada is not only the nation where BC wood is being used, it is being used in Japan, Australia, Gulf countries, and other North American countries and European countries also. So the thing is that in those countries also the variation of climate is like ours. If you take the example of Japan, if you take the example of Sydney, it's a very hot and humid place in Australia, and they are using our wood in the construction. So it is basically, the building code which plays a very important role, designing plays very important role, at the same time seasoning and the moisture content of wood also plays very important role. Jimmy, would you like to add something here?
Yeah, thank you, Ritesh. Actually, it's a good question, and many of the people, clients asking this question whenever we meet. So the thing is, the important factor here is that, first of all, wood from Canada, they are very mature, stable, seasoned, certified. That is the inherent characteristics of this our timber, BC wood. On the other side, as a customer, what people need to do is they have to design it properly, then build it correctly according to the design with the fit, with the proper fit and finish. So that is the only advantage I can advice I can give this. Give on this.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jimmy and Ritesh. So next question is about construction. So Jimmy, to you, how does how do we choose the right wood for the construction? For example, if it is a very humid, like areas having high rainfall, is it really ideal to use wood?
Again, a continuation of the previous question, I guess, whether it is rainfall area or snowfall area or hill station, sea coast or wherever it is or under snow, it is the design to start with. Depends on the particular terrain or this situation. We need to adjust the design, modify the design accordingly. So it's a very vast subject, but even in Kerala, even Tamil Nadu or Rajasthan, all have different climatic conditions up to J&K. So our wood species have been, very properly designed and used across these different climatic conditions. So to choose them, there are two important species we have, which are good for outdoor applications. One is the yellow cedar, the other one is western red cedar. So right choice, right selection of the species again comes as a very key factor. So design, fit, finish, apart from that, selection of the right timber for the right application.
In fact, I would like to add here, in India, if you take all the places where the rainfall is very high, the northeastern part like Meghalaya, Assam, Arunachal. Now come to the south Kerala, Ooty, Kodaikanal, cold places. Then go to the north like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, all those places. If you see the traditionally, they are still using the wood as one of the major construction material there. So I think it is possible, and it is still is being used.
Very correct, Ritesh. I just missed that point. Thanks to raise that and explain that situation. Actually, wood was our traditional construction material before all these other materials came into the picture. The lack of availability was the major issue we faced, and lack of availability obviously will lead to higher prices and all those issues, challenges. However, we have now wood from Canada, which you already listened to, available. So unless and until our local timber available, this is the best solution.
Okay.
Timber.
Thank you. So just last question we would like to take because we are running out of time. So the question I will like to ask to you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Are the wood construction possible in the landslide prone areas? So there is question just came in from one of the audience.
Thank you, Rambir. I should clap, big thank you and clap to that questioner, because recently we have seen a large issue, devastating landslide issues in Joshimat area in Uttarakhand. Being light in weight, timber is the best product for making the houses or buildings on landslide areas and also challenging situations, because there is no heavy concrete or heavy foundation is required. So timber-based construction is the most apt methodology to withstand in these situations.
Okay. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you for answering that question. So now I would like to invite Mr. Gajanan Patankar for the thanking note. Just a little brief on the Gajanan's experience. So Gajanan Patankar is wood technologist, graduated from FRI Dehradun in 2004, and he is currently working as an assistant director at Canadian Wood office in India, and he has around 2 decades of experience in woodworking areas and industry, from sawmilling to purchase of timber products like logs, lumber, and like furniture as well, plywood and other products. So he has a good woodworking knowledge. Over to you, Gajanan, for the thanking note.
Thank you, Rambir. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hereby thank all the speakers and participants for joining the webinar and making it successful. Thank you, Rambir, for the opening remark. Mr. Ritesh Kumar, thank you for the in-depth presentation on sustainability and taking us through various Canadian wood projects. Dr. Jimmy Thomas, thank you for taking out time for this event as a speaker, and your presentation on wood as a material was very informative and its versatility. Finally, FII team members who have contributed to this event, we hereby announce the closure of this knowledge sharing session. Thank you all.
One more thing, I think after this completion of the webinar, you will all receive one survey link. And if you have any unanswered question, please do contact us, reach out to us, and we will be happy to address all of your queries. And do also fill out the feedback form so we can also improve if there is any chance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.